called action. How you doing, Lee?
I'm good, mate. You?
I'm all right. Yeah. Apart from you, we've just you've come to the groundbreaking decision. Well, not the groundbreaking decision. It must
Yeah.
be
I'm the boss. I'm the boss. I made a decision. It's going to fucking happen.
We're gonna have to change the name.
We are going to have to change the channel name.
Can you tell the people why, Lee?
Because how many seconds are we in? Can I swear yet?
You could say you could say funk.
Well, because if you put
Funked.
system into YouTube or any other search engine, to be perfectly honest, probably any search engine that exists in the entire world. There's a little band, you might have heard of them. They're a band called System of a Down, and they're rather popular. And to try and get anything through the search algorithm with old System of a Down being sort of in the thing, with their abbreviation of their band name being system like our system, it's impossible.
But I think you can only change the name once, Lee, so we need to be sure on it. So we'll get to the drawing board.
Well,
look, I think we found the winner.
It's That'll Kill System of a Down, and I haven't got the time.
I love System of a Down. I was a big fan.
I always listened to it. Always thought this sounds like rock Morris dancing music. I was never. I was never a big fan of System of a Down.
I loved them. VR gaming, Lee. VR gaming. We're getting
VR gaming, not for £600.
What did you just say? That VR gaming? Oh, I like
we're not German. We could dress up as Nazis.
I don't know if YouTube would like that. I don't see they'd see. I don't think they'd see the funny side of it.
No.
These days you can't do anything.
Oh God, it makes me furious.
I'm really kind of. I'm I loved. Did you have the PS4? You had a PS4, did you? Did you have a PS4?
I've had every PlayStation known to man, including the handhelds.
And did you have the VR?
Yes, yeah.
Look like you were looking through a mucky window.
After you'd been poked in the eyes.
Yeah, but entertaining. Until you got strangled.
The only time since Wipeout on the PlayStation 1, the only time I've enjoyed Wipeout was Wipeout VR.
That was absolutely brilliant.
Those the up thing and the big drops and stuff. Wow. Do
you know Wipeout VR as well? I thought was actually better than the actual Wipeout game.
Yes.
Once you had that, because I played that for a little bit, and then when I played that in VR, it even looked good for that system.
Yeah, it did look good. Looked very good. I enjoyed the fact that they baked the controller into the UI as well, so it didn't feel like, oh, there's a wheel in front of me like Gran Turismo does if you try and play with the DualShock. It's not like, oh well, there's a wheel in front of me, but my hands are like this instead of like this, and you get that like uncanny valley thing going on. But like if in the ship, if you remember, it was a PlayStation controller that was in front of you, so it felt like you were holding on to the right thing. I thought it was easier as well.
Yeah,
I think it's just because everything's scaled better. So the fact that you were in the car or plane or thing, it made the roads feel bigger when you were sat in them, and I found it just made it easier for me to play it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's the only way I played that game, and to be perfectly honest, it's the only VR game I played. I tried playing that. What was the one with the dinosaur thing? The something family. It was like a play on Swiss Family Robinsons, wasn't it?
Oh, I know which one you mean. I never played that one.
It looked awful, like really genuinely. It was so murky, and you were looking through it like, what?
There was literally a handful of the PSVR games that looked okay.
Batman Experience was good, but it wasn't a game. It was like
It's an experience.
this is the thing, but they were charging you game money for experiences. You know, it's
Most
in any other situation, that is a free download.
don't you think most of them were experiences?
Yes, that's what I mean. That's the problem.
I had I can't remember what the game was. Was it something the London game? Which was that like
the
when you did
heist thing.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
that was
that.
good.
I actually
Well,
want.
it shouldn't give PSVR the free pass though on the fact that the ones were absolute donkey balls.
Well, they were from the PS3.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But it was an ill-conceived idea to bring those into the new console. You know, it was a bad move. Bad move.
If they had been included, do you think we'd have seen a price that is in line with what we're seeing now with the PS5?
I don't
If it,
see. Right. I don't know because I had a Oculus Quest. I ended up selling it because my friend wanted one and he couldn't get one. I was like, well, I don't use it very much. I'll sell it. So you can have it. And but saying I bought it during lockdowns because it was if I didn't have my boy, I was basically just stuck in the house. You know, like just here. So I thought, well, I can cut about in VR, can't I, instead? And you know what? It was a dead bloody good idea. And so I bought one of those during lockdown. I used it quite a lot during then. I played a lot of Beat Saber, played a lot of the Star Wars game. I'm not suggesting anybody does this because obviously I wouldn't. But what I will say is that it's based on Android, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. It's dead easy to sideload things on Android. Dead easy. And you should if you can do it on your phone, you can do it in a headset.
Doesn't the Quest, isn't there a way to sync it with the PC to play Steam stuff on the Quest?
Yeah. All it is a USB-C cable.
So if you got the Quest, you can play the Android stuff, but then
that's why it's the best PC. Well, apart from unless you go for like the high-end Valve stuff, which is like but apparently that's still the daddy.
So you need a big room for that. Like you need a VR room.
You need a VR room for all of it.
Right.
Even the Quest, like I mean, this is you can't really see this room. This room is probably about 12 foot that way by 15 foot that way. That was just big enough for VR.
I've just realized you've moved rooms.
I haven't moved rooms. I've just moved. Like this here used to be behind me.
Right.
So it's the same room, but there's going to be. I need to turn the studio into a band practice room so my band can practice in here. So there should be a drum kit behind me next time.
Oh, but yeah, well, that'll look very musical.
Yeah.
I was excited because we both decided this year, you know, I don't know about you, but I always fancied the PlayStation 5 anyway for the exclusives. But now that we have the channel, it's kind of I explained it to my wife, I need to get a PlayStation 5 because if I don't, then I'm just ranting about something that I've never played.
No, but you're not getting PlayStation VR.
I wanted it though, and if
but you talk, but if I mean, don't get me wrong, I want it as well. But let's be perfectly honest. If you go from the point of green,
I'll get divorced if I get
green. Green is not having a PlayStation 5. Yeah, for people like us anyway that are predominantly Xbox gamers. And you want PlayStation VR. See, that was the good thing about PlayStation 4. It was like you could look at 500 quid, which is not chump change by any stretch of the imagination. But like towards the middle of PlayStation, when PlayStation VR came out, and especially like a year afterwards when PlayStation VR had been out for a little bit as well, you'd be looking like 500 quid all in for a VR capable gaming console. That's great. I can get that. I get why people do it. Save yourself some money and buy a second-hand PlayStation 4, and you can get it even cheaper. The thing is, now you're looking at £1,000 very near.
Yeah, it's
That's
for a console.
for a console. It's then going to charge you £70 a game.
Do you think it's going to look more appetizing when the PS5 Slim comes out with the option to add the drive? Do you think that's going to be cheaper than the PS5 that we're seeing now without the disc drive?
I mean, to me, the discless PlayStation is the most attractive one anyway. That was even before I got the Xbox. If there was a cheaper Xbox X series without a disc drive in, I'd have got that one. Like, I don't buy disc games. I only buy things online. I mean, I suppose maybe it'd be a better because there's nothing comparable to Game Pass on PlayStation. Maybe I'd be better off with a disc drive so I could trade things in. But I never go into game shops anyway. There's like, it feels like every day another place where you could trade games is shut down. Like Game on the Isle of Man where I come from. It used to be its own store. Now it's like it's smaller than this room, tucked away at the back of
JD Sports. Yeah,
JD
in
Sports.
the UK, a lot of the games are going into the
I think they bought JD Sports bought Game. So but like it's tucked away in a corner. I was in there the other day. Oh my word! Like I mean, if you needed any bigger like indication that high street game stores is dead, go to the Game on the Isle of Man. Like it's it's incredible. There's like 6 games to buy, a couple of plushies, and maybe a Funko Pop if you're really, really lucky. Like
what the hell's a Funko Pop? Oh, one of these.
One of those. I don't think it's cool to call them Funko Pops anymore. I think you're just supposed to call them Pops. But I
love
old
this
school.
Thing. Never opening it.
I have a couple. I have a couple of wrestling ones. That's about it. If you're a man with more than 5, you need your hard drive checked. Just a warning.
No, there's just one there. My little boy's dying to open it. I'm like, you're not opening that. Not yet. give it a minute. I watched some videos, quite a few videos on it today, and I remember when we were watching it together, and there were certain parts where we were saying that looks like a little bit messy when stuff got up close. But when I was watching people playing it today, I think
the problem is you can't tell because you're looking at it through a 4K telly. So what all you're getting is the output. You don't you're not looking at it through the lenses.
I know. I have the feeling when you're in that, it'll look incredible. I'm sure I don't think it's going to look like a PS5 graphics.
No, it'll look like a PS4 graphics because in the same way that PlayStation 4 VR looked like
a PS1.
3. Yeah, well, maybe. But processing power wise, I still think if you want VR, I mean, I suppose it is cheaper. You want something with like a 3070 in, really, PC wise, to run VR. Then on top of that, you've got your 300 quid Oculus Quest.
Well, here's the thing, though. You're talking about PC with
VR, you can do that wireless, though. That's what I would say. Yeah, I mean, first of all, the Oculus Quest is a standalone device, so you can just use it on its own if you want to. It's I did that actually. I went away and I banged the VR headset and the controllers in, and I remember like in the evenings in the hotel, I banged those on. I watched a film on the VR headset in the cinema. It was weird.
What was that like? What was that like? I've always wondered. I've never done it.
It's great. No, I mean, and the Quest is like I think it's 2K per eye, something like that.
Do you not get a headache after a film?
No, no. Do you know the other thing I used to do is this is
I don't know. We don't want to know, Lee. We don't want to know.
no,
Come on.
no. VR porn's weird. I used to watch VR porn just
Especially if you get caught.
no, no, no. I used to watch the VR porn not for the porn, just for the fact that I could imagine I had abs. Um, but that was what really got me off. Um, I am one of those weirdos that can't go to sleep at night without watching ASMR. So,
I thought you were going to say
listening
smells.
listen to ASMR. Sorry. So every night I've got a pair of Bose Quiet Comfort headphones next to my bed, which never go anywhere. This is all they're for. And when I go to bed, I'll pop them on and I will listen to GB ASMR, tap of fingers on cork, and stuff like that, and rustle paper. I love ASMR. When I had the VR headset, what I would do is I would put the same headphones on, but I put the VR headset on too, so I could watch it in the headset while I was doing it. So if anyone has listened to this that's into watching ASMR videos, VR is incredible for it.
And for anybody who doesn't know what that is and might think it's something sexual, it's
Not
just
sexual.
it's the noises, you know. It's the I don't know if people can hear that.
What is it?
My mic probably doesn't do it very well.
I automatic something meridian response. I can't remember what the S stands for.
Yeah, I kind of like watching the satisfying stuff, you know, like the stuff getting blended and like paint going through stuff and mixed. I like
Yeah,
that kind of
that's
version
ASMR.
of it.
Does it make your head tickle
Yeah, a
at
little
the back
bit.
of your head? Yeah, that's ASMR. That's that feeling when you when it feels like someone's running their fingers down your back, but no one's touching you. That feeling is called ASMR.
But in VR, it's just
Yeah, because you can watch them doing it instead
it's
of just lying there with
uplifted.
your eyes closed. Yeah, it's great. Once I tell you what I did do is I fell asleep with a
VR
because
on.
yeah, the what you call it sometimes I listen to just sounds like the like forest sounds or something, and I fell asleep with
Like whales and that.
yeah, well not whales, but just stuff. I hate going to bed without noise, and the it was one of the ones which was like a Star Trek sort of bridge noises, like
Oh yeah.
boops and bleeps and stuff all over the place. But obviously, because I had the headset on, I could see the Star Trek fucking corridor as well. So I woke up in like 2086. I was like, "What's going on here? This is not ideal." I did that as well with Elite Dangerous. I had it plugged into my PC. I never really played Elite Dangerous. I must have been a bit drunk, and I fell asleep in the cockpit. And I woke up and I was awake inside a spaceship, but that was weird too.
Thought you'd been abducted.
It was like, oh, yeah, I was abducted and they let me drive. Oh no!
The I want to get it. I'll be honest with you. From watching it today, I just want to have it for a day. I to borrow one to just experience the haptics of those controllers, because I don't know if you've seen the Call of the Horizon, you know, the Forbidden West VR game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit where
Can we bring the trailer of that up?
yeah, sure, I'll bring it up in the background.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit where they put the hand in the water, and as they put the hand in the water, they get the haptic feedback on the hand of the water hitting your hand, and that little things like that with that controller and being in VR, I think would be
PS5 is all about the haptics, isn't it? It's
yeah.
I mean the haptics for me. I think we need like a kind of in the way. If you take back paddles off controllers, because that's still a bit like, have we got them? Haven't we got them? Everyone's decided 4 face buttons, 2 shoulder buttons, 2 analog sticks, and a D-pad. That's absolute bare minimum. Yeah. We need to come to some sort of consensus on haptics. Like, do we have the triggers that do the stoppy things? Where do we put the rumbles? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
This is getting displayed to us in a glorious 4 fucking frames a second. Oh no, there we are. Because haptics continually get lost. It does look gorgeous, doesn't it? That doesn't look like it. Is this gameplay?
This is. I think it is like on a train. It's taking you, and there will be certain bits where you will be able to interact, but I think a lot of it is on rails.
I'd hope not, really.
I think it is. I don't think you're going to get an open world. It looks like an on rails game.
This feels open worldy, but I mean, what?
It's
but
definitely not open world. It's not open world. You are on a set route.
This here is very much like Climb. There's a Oculus Quest called Climb, which is absolutely brilliant. I wonder if they've borrowed anything from that. Yeah, this is going to there's going to be like a certain trail you have to walk, and then that trail is going to take you to essentially a choke point where you have to do something within that choke point.
I've heard people speak about this though, and apparently when the long neck thing, I think they actually call it a long neck. When it's going, you get such a sense of scale with this thing, and I can't remember. I remember it a little bit on the PlayStation.
Oh, it's sense of scale with VR. That's what VR does well, like really well.
I didn't think it did it well on the PS.
Call of the Mountain. That makes sense now. It's gonna be about climbing a mountain. I know that sounds stupid, isn't it? But I bet they've took loads of game mechanics. Like there was a guy. I can't remember if it was Climb or Climb 2. Off the top of my head, but I played loads of that on Oculus Quest. And basically, you just went up. It was the climbing simulator. You went up the paths on various difficulties. It explained to you which were the best paths up the mountain. You would have to chalk your hands so you could hold on to things. It was really good. But all of the climbing sections in that reminded me of Climb. So I think they've been playing a bit of that. But again, though, did you see the if you YouTube search and bring up GT7, I think GameSpot or IGN did it. GT7 in VR. 7. Yeah, in VR. That looks really cool.
You read my mind. Literally, I've just brought it up.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
I mean, you're well into your racing as well, so I mean,
I do think you would need a wheel though. It would be so weird to play a racing game.
I don't know with those haptics. If you just hold in them, and if you see the wheel,
it would just shake. It would just shake. You wouldn't have weight behind it.
But what if those haptics could? What if those controllers you could hook onto something that would make it like a wheel? Maybe, I don't know. No, just get a wheel. Just give us a wheel.
It's not the things you hold on to which are the important part of the wheel. It's the back. It's the motor. Yeah. I worry. I mean, sorry, I don't worry. That makes it sound like it keeps me up at night. See, all this looks cool. I would love to try this. And I've got a PlayStation compatible wheel, which is sat in the other room. But how much is the retail price for it again? I've forgotten. Is it 600 quid?
I mean, that looks good. Those graphics.
It looks incredible. Yeah, it looks great. Like I said, it's PS4 graphics. And that's fine. It's got to render it twice and all that sort of stuff. So that's perfectly acceptable. But I think the problem is going to be support. I can't see enough of these being sold to get adoption by developers.
Well, that's the thing that they it's half of what they expected to get.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people can't afford eggs right now.
Yeah, it's sad times we live in. But
exactly.
I didn't expect. So the thing is, and this sounds awful, but I know people that instead of like paying for things that they probably should pay for, they'll go out and buy a game instead. And when I was a youngster, I was guilty of that too.
Yeah, and there will be more than enough people that are willing to go on to, or was it 530 quid?
Yeah, there you go.
I see. I mean, even the controllers don't explain the what's the is that replacement controllers?
That's the controller's charging station for $39.99.
Oh right, okay. That's wow.
I don't think that's too bad, to be fair. For
I think it's pretty grim. It's not included.
Well, yeah, but it'll just charge off the PS5 with the the Type C, won't it?
Yeah, so you need 3 Type Cs plugged in all to.
But you get free delivery of the VR2. You get free delivery, Lee.
That's good.
Come on.
Look, I'm sure there'll be people that are willing to put down 530 quid on Very to buy it. And look, Andy, you trying to get monetized?
We're not monetized.
I know. I was just joking. I just worry about how many people. I bought enough things in the past that haven't been well. What you call it? Well supported game wise. I owned a 3DO. I understand where this goes.
Yeah, I owned a Philips CDI. I know where you. I feel your pain.
I had a CDI as well. It all comes down to cost. That's the thing. Like these things come out, and if they're too expensive for people, then that's it. You won't sell enough, and then they won't have enough games.
I think you'll give it a year. You'll see a price drop on this thing. I got my
PS. It didn't really on PSVR1.
Mate, I got, and unless I'm completely bullshitting here, but I'm pretty sure I got a Black Friday deal, which was £199 with 5 games from Argos for the VR headset. It was like
in the very end. Then did you get the controllers with it?
I got it late. I got it late. I know I didn't get the controllers with it.
Right. So see, that's the thing as well. So because the controllers were 30 quid a pop as well. I want to be wrong. I want it to work, but I just don't see how it can.
I want it to work, but here's the thing: when it comes to long-lasting VR headset, you touched on it earlier. When it comes to PC, whatever you buy for your headset for the very first Oculus, that game is still working now.
Backwards compatibility is an issue, and we don't have any of that on PlayStation, which is ridiculous.
So my PlayStation account has loads of games.
Yeah.
So when we game share, you'll get a load of games, but you will get a load of VR games
that you can't use.
I must have bought, I think, about 10 VR games.
I'd love to know the reason. I would love to know the reason why they can't do that.
I mean, I'm not technically enough. I know that thing has a bigger field of view on the eyes, but I can't see that being it. There must be a valid reason why it's, and anybody in the comments, if you're
well, I mean, Sony have been historically terrible at backwards compatibility.
Other than the very first PlayStation 3 that they dropped after, I think, a year.
Yeah,
that was compatible with everything.
But the fact that they dropped after a year would go with the thing of them being historically terrible with it. The other problem VR's got, and I like VR. It's
enjoyable.
I bought the developer version of the DK1, the Oculus DK1 thing. Yeah, before you could even play anything on it. God, that was a there was a disappointment that came to the draw, and because it was landing with developers, like, oh, what am I going to do on this? And someone was like, well, nothing until people develop on it. I'm like, oh yeah, forgot that.
So you not being very techie. Well, you're a lot more techie than I am.
I think you're more techie than me, to be fair.
Not when it comes to no, mate. You've just windowsed your Steam Deck.
I think because I listened to somebody else tell me how to do it.
Yeah, it's all right when you got some.
We'll talk about that in a bit, actually, if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I think for anyone out there that's got a Steam Deck that's thinking about it, there's something I found on another video that has completely changed the game with me with Windows and Steam Deck.
I just think with it's very much a luxury. I think you're going to have
Very much so. Well, consoles are a luxury, so
Yeah,
this is a luxury for a luxury.
But a console is something that a family will buy for maybe they might have 2-3 kids and they go, listen, let's get the guys a PS5 or an Xbox or whatever. We'll all share it as a family. You know, we've got an Xbox, we share it as a family. Well, my wife doesn't. But I got the disc version so she can put Desperate Housewives in.
Good, that's good. It doesn't sound sexist at all. Good man.
Yeah, I'm not a sexist. I'm just it's factual information. The woman likes Desperate Housewives. What else can I say?
I like the first season of Desperate Housewives, actually.
I wish she was a bit more of a housewife.
She's desperate.
Just edgy people. Edgy. You don't like it, fuck off. I'm not sexist. Get back up there.
So funny if like this frying pan came flying out of the darkness.
I would honestly. My wife is like she's Latino, so she's very, very fiery, and I put a foot out of place. Put it this way: when I had the PS4 VR headset, if she was in a bad mood, I would like the idea that I can see what's coming at me. And with that thing, it wasn't Resident Evil that scared me. It was the fact that my wife could be lurking at any moment around my vicinity without me seeing her. That is what I like.
Are you married or are you a captive?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
To be honest with you, but you know, it's an agreement. But I do. I like the new feature of the new VR headset that you can see. If you want, you can flip a switch and see if someone's about to murder you.
Yeah, it's great.
I put my gran in VR. She loved it. You know, the fish, the diving game, you could turn off the shark. I did turn off the shark. She's like in her 90s. I didn't want to kill her. But she absolutely loved it. And that's one thing that you do see, because I gave both my parents a go with the VR headset. And it was like I'd given them a Wii again, because they had a Wii. My parents owned a Wii. And yeah, they loved it.
Everyone owned a Wii. Do you know the weirdest thing about Wii that the weirdest console experience I think I've ever had in my entire life is I went to renew my contract for my with my mobile phone company provider, and I got a new phone, walked up to the counter, and I signed for my phone, and they gave me my phone and gave me a Wii. I was like, I didn't ask for this. And they said, no, just like if you spend over like £150 in store, you get a Wii.
What did you do with it?
I thought, great, I've got a Wii. I went home, plugged it into my telly. It was great. I loved it.
And played bowling.
I loved the Wii. It was great.
The bowling were great. The bowling was good.
Super Mario Galaxy. Ooh, that's a game.
Oh, yeah, Super Metroid Prime trilogy was a game.
Also, because this is the thing as well, it shows how little I cared about the Wii, even though I used it a lot, was I modded it myself. Just
really
cracked it open and soldered an iffy
Jiffy
chip from some random Asian technology store that I found on the internet and burnt my own games. Wild times.
The
I'm surprised it
nin,
didn't burn
nin,
the house down.
do you remember Nintendo's first dabble with VR? And I'm not talking about the cardboard cutout thing for the Wii.
The Virtual Boy. I never had one of those bad boys, but I remember them. I remember them
Was
coming
it?
out.
I mean, I don't think many people own that because it was like that was a flop from day one, and I think that was quite expensive as well, and everything was red.
Yeah, I mean, at least with the price being so high, on the PlayStation VR2, it means no one's talking about the fact that you need like a massive room, like we were just saying. Maybe that's one good thing. It's took away from that little nugget that no one seems to be talking about. You didn't need that with
No.
Nintendo. You could just stick that on a table and stuff your face into it.
Who out of Xbox and Nintendo do you see touching the VR space?
I don't see anybody touching it for ages.
Do you think they've sat back there? They're gone. Let's see how well play, because you would see a lot of PlayStation sided channels. Let's just say, they would say, "Well, Xbox has not got VR. PlayStation
Well, do you not
has."
think it's weird? Do you not remember Xbox had when they
Glass.
when they released the when the was it Project Scorpio, wasn't it? Was the Xbox Series, Xbox X series, Xbox One X? That's it.
Scorpion.
Yeah. When they announced that was coming out, Phil Spencer on the E3 stage, might talk about E3 a bit later on. He said that it would be VR capable. He said that the One X would be VR capable. And it was also announced, I don't know if it was the same event or later, or whether it was just like part of the thing, that they were going to partner with Oculus. So I don't know whether the Facebook buyout maybe got in the way of that, in the way of the Oculus buyout. But you see, like, remember, this is PC, isn't it? Windows is PC. So if they wanted to, and this is the way I think a console should have gone about it, is using the same open source type gubbins that that PC VR has. If you have a what's a game that worked for it? Project Cars 2. Project Cars 2 has been developed with VR in mind. That should be a case of you can plug a VR headset into it and use the VR headset with it, like you can with PC. You can, whatever VR headset you've got, it will work, and to varying levels of quality with your VR headset. That's the best thing I can think. The reason I don't like it is because VR it's a display essentially. So can you imagine buying a console and someone saying, "You've got a PlayStation, yeah, but you need a Sony Tally."
I just realised that my thing was on mute. I know exactly what you mean, Lee. The weird thing, though, when it comes to Microsoft doing it, is you said it was the Oculus.
I think so, yeah.
I think it was the whole HoloLens thing.
No. This was separate to HoloLens. There was a hookup with Oculus Rift, and Microsoft.
Right, because they were going to do the. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember the Minecraft presentation?
HoloLens is still a thing, but see, the problem was people saw this and thought HoloLens was going to be for games. It was never for games. It was always for enterprise.
Because it was rumored that they would be able to sync this up with the Xbox, and that you would be able to just. Because you had the whole, you can see the controller there. You've everything.
But the problem with this is that it feels great, and don't get me wrong, like this whole thing. Oh, look at me rendering in the and yeah, the processing power's got to come from somewhere. It's not coming from that headset. Do you
No.
know what I mean? You're always going to have the absolute best of mobile phone technology. So that's what you've got strapped to your face right now is a mobile phone with a big display on it that you're looking through, and that's always going to be the issue with it. That I think we discuss this last time on the podcast, like the
HoloLens, I
we
don't know.
no, not HoloLens, but the idea that you've it's essentially 5G and sort of cloud computing
Mm.
technology. You're going to need to do this sort of stuff because you need to start taking the heavy lifting off stuff. So you're going to have to do it in the cloud because, like I say, otherwise you're just going to be hamstrung by mobile technology. And don't get me wrong, eventually that will get better. But the problem is that the local hardware technology will also improve. So fair enough. At that point, you'll have a Xbox Series X strapped to your face in processing power in the same way as this is essentially a PlayStation 4 slapped into a Game Gear.
So do you see that? Do you think that it is just going to be PlayStation that has a dabble with it this generation, and Nintendo? Well, Nintendo. Let's face it, Nintendo can't for the Switch. The Switch can barely run on its own.
Do you know what? If anyone's going to do it, it will be Nintendo
For the next one.
I don't think they will. I think they will. I think the next Nintendo console will be a full-on Switch too.
Yeah, well, it's got to be. I mean, that's definitely a video that we're gonna have to do. It's got to be. They have to go Switch 2. They can't do a console that just plugs into the TV.
No,
But also, I don't think they can do
just a
VR.
handheld. I don't think they can do just a handheld either.
I don't think they can do VR, and I'll tell you for why. Because the age rating for VR that everybody's got is 12 plus.
That's fair. Yeah, and then it's not just that. You've got to think of size of heads. Like it's.
I'm not saying that Nintendo's for kids, but the majority of their market.
No, it's a family orientated game company, though. I think that's fair. And see, the other thing is, I don't know what that sort of stuff does to people's eyes. You know, like a young age.
Yeah.
Do you want that people's eye? I mean, my eyes have fucking degraded loads. It amazes me how blurry things are when I take my glasses off now.
I don't think I'd be comfortable. I mean, I've got a 7-year-old, but if I let him have a look, say if I had the PlayStation VR, PlayStation 2 VR, which probably looks incredible, and I bet it's so tempting just to put.
I wouldn't be comfortable with my kids.
Yeah,
even.
Yeah, because I think he's too young, and I think he'd want to experience that again. So I think agree.
And I don't want to sound like a Luddite here either, but the one thing I noticed when I was doing VR a lot was I noticed it affect how I dreamt. That was one thing.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, and that it definitely does a weird thing to your brain. Like it's when you take it off and you're back, back in the room.
Yep. It's like you've been somewhere else.
It's strange. And
did you ever get the headache there? Did you ever get that, like just there above your eyebrows, like that tension headache?
Yeah. Once or twice. See, I'm pretty good with VR. I don't really get headaches. I don't really get sick with it, but I do feel weird afterwards. And it's like it's not like I've just taken a mask off. Sometimes, like if you've got. Like if you go swimming, you put goggles on or something like that, or something's on your face. You get that thing where you take off, or you come out of a cinema. That's a better thing. You come out of a cinema in the daytime, and it's all like, whoa, actually, it's like I'm outside now. It's not the same feeling. It's like it's like waking up from something. I'd be interested to know what it does to your brain while you're doing it. What parts of your brain are triggered?
I mean, you started another conversation now, but with the dreams thing, for anybody, I would, I wonder how many people have weird dreams when they've been in VR, or people that struggle to sleep when they've been in VR. Because I had that.
I had really lucid dreams when I was doing it. Really lucid dreams, and it is a bit of it can feel a bit like a dream state being in VR, because you are technically you're doing stuff you can't do in the real world, which is kind of what your dreams are.
Did you play any? Did you play Resident Evil?
Oh,
7?
briefly, it was too scary for me.
So I didn't complete it in VR, but I did get quite far through it, and I don't find that game remotely scary to play on a TV. I don't get scared easy with computer games. I'm playing Dead Space. We didn't start with what we're playing, Lee.
We didn't start what we're playing.
I'm playing Dead Space right now, and it's great. By the way, I highly recommend it to anybody.
Were you playing it on Xbox or
Series X? It is Steam verified now, though. It's deck verified. It's been deck verified, which is it didn't run to start off with. But I don't find it scary. It's just there's a few jumpy bits, but I played Resident Evil 7, loved the game, didn't really find it scary. But when you play that in VR, it is fucking terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Now, they're bringing out Resident Evil 8, the werewolf one?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that one was nowhere near as scary as 7, but I can imagine werewolves coming at you being absolutely in VR, being quite terrifying.
Maybe I am like just a massive hairy pussy, but but I keep hearing people go, yeah, well, like the Resident Evil Village wasn't scary. Like, no, okay, it wasn't as scary as like Resident Evil Biohazard, but I mean, it wasn't not scary. It wasn't like Resident Evil Biohazard was here and Resident Evil Village is all of a sudden down here with Mario and Yoshi's Woolly fucking world. No, it wasn't. It was still scary.
I just can't believe you just put it into mixed it in with bloody Yoshi's Woolly World. Oh god, fuck that game. Yoshi. He's a weird character.
He is a weird character.
Especially when he's made out of wool. Yeah, but it wasn't I didn't find 8 scary at all. I think they really they admitted they tamed it down from 7. Because 7 being in that house with the guy, the people that were technically eating like other humans and all that jazz, that was a scary game. But in VR, it was insane how scary. I struggled with that to get through that, and I don't struggle with scary games. But I imagine with this new system, it looks it doesn't look nowhere near as good as the PS5 or Xbox Series X graphics, but it looks spectacular for VR for a console.
Yeah. I don't think graphics are going to be the problem. I mean, even PlayStation VR1, right? Graphics weren't the problem with PSVR1, really. I mean, it was pretty low res, yeah, obviously. But the big problem with them was the lenses.
Yeah.
The lenses were awful as well. So I don't think visual quality is going to be the problem. Like, I think, and realistically, continuing to talk about this, we're just going to be batting it round and round the houses. And like, there's this 530 quid elephant in the room. The big problem with that is it's more than the console, and that to me, it's going to be such a sticking point for people.
And the launch window shit.
When's the launch window?
No, I mean the launch titles, not launch windows. The launch titles. There's nothing that sticks out.
Well, there's no good VR games. That's the problem.
Do you know what why we've had it before? I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it. Maybe they just can't get it because Valve just wouldn't give them
it. They just don't seem to want to do it. They don't seem to want to ship.
But
Half-Life
Alex would have been
apparently the only like VR system seller. I've never played it. I didn't. My computer at the time couldn't handle it, and
it's apparently incredible.
Yeah, apparently so.
A friend of mine's got it, and I would love to go and have a go, but he lives quite far away from me. But apparently it is amazing.
Yeah.
Again, it's a VR experience, but yeah, I know you wanted to discuss something else that's dead. The E and the 3.
The E3, yeah.
And we're not saying PSVR's dead on arrival, though it does look that way with how many people have pre-ordered it. But I think it could have a comeback. That's all I'll say. It could have a comeback if we get a price drop and some great games on the system. But yeah, let's hope.
E3 though, that's sad.
Yeah, something I looked forward to every single year.
Do you think the companies are still going to put their press conference and stuff out in the same time? I was surprised that Microsoft aren't going to be on the show floor, because for what Phil Spencer did bat around it a little bit, didn't he, in that interview? But I got from the end of it, oh well, we're still going to do stuff with E3, but it's one of those things. It's just a shame for people like us that. I remember getting Games Master magazine and like video games and stuff like that. And around E3 time, you'd always get the stories and stuff out of E3 and like new games. And I can still remember seeing the N64 like reveal, what games were going to look like on the Ultra 64, as they were calling it then. So it's, I'm always going to think it's cool. I remember the for WWF Warzone. I remember thinking looked incredible because like they were using some sort of like.
And that's where they did the console reveals as well, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, but they don't need to do that anymore because they can do
because of the internet.
Yeah. So it's a shame. It's another thing that we're growing old. So what was new is old. And
I mean, do you think it was always inevitable to happen with the way things have gone with tech, with most people streaming?
I suppose so. I just hadn't seen it, and it's if anyone hasn't listened to it yet, the Colin Moriarty IGN kind of funny guy does the Sacred Symbols. He was on Michael Malice's podcast, and
I listened to it today. Lee. Brilliant,
excellent podcast. I love Colin Moriarty. He's great. And one of the people that if we got some more people behind us is someone I would definitely love to get on the podcast.
That would be the dream.
But yeah, like he said, like the websites killed the magazines. But when he turned around, he said, like, who goes to the websites anymore? Like, who goes to IGN? Who goes to Kotaku? Who goes to Polygon? I never used to go to Polygon and Kotaku anyway, because even before woke was a word, I found them a bit woke then. I was probably just calling them a bit lefty then. And the same goes for IGN now. Like I need to unfollow them on Instagram. Like there is nothing worse than IGN movie review. Like they are just the worst things ever. Like worst things.
I don't know if we should say that since we've played some of their footage tonight.
Well, it's all right. It's a public domain, isn't it? But there is nobody. There is nobody in like the. I will give an honourable mention to Damon. What's his name? Damon.
Oh, I know what you mean. Is
Yeah,
he the British guy?
no. He does Game Scoop.
On IGN?
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched
Yeah.
IGN for a
No,
long
I
time.
used to listen to the Game Scoop podcast. I don't listen to it now, but he always seemed all right. I always like Destin, who was IGN, but he's left. He seems to be he's independent now. He's got his own YouTube channel. And that's been it's been it. Like I think the thing is, it's so easy now to find not people you agree with, but people that you kind of you at least feel on the same level with. There's nothing worse than being told by people told something by people that you think they're being disingenuous in the way they're doing it because you feel it's being framed in a way that's toes a company line rather than their own personal opinions. And you will, but and on top of that, you feel like if you were in a room together, you'd rather be on your own than in the same room with this one person. I find that a lot with professional video game journalists that work for companies. But this is the great thing about YouTube. This means that I don't have to listen to those people. I can go and listen to Destin. I can go and listen to Alana Pierce. I can go and listen to us if I absolutely feel that sort of level of sadomasochism. And it just
Speaking of that, show your friends us. Share it out, people.
yeah, it's just easier to find people. It's easy to find people that you like.
Yeah, it's just there was a magic to it though. There was a magic to E3 that I used to look forward to it every single year. Me and my mate Stu used to talk about. And we go, mate, you're gonna have to come around. We'll have some beers when we'll watch E3 live. And it's just like
yeah.
And now it's not the same when they do these presentations. I mean,
who won E3? There's going to be none of that anymore. Who was the best conference?
the excitement's gone. I mean, you've got is it who does it? Is it does summer with games, summer games or whatever it's called? I forgot the guy's name. I should know it, but there is essentially he's going to be E3 now. Well, E3 is still going to be a thing, but I don't know how long. I don't know how many years it's got left, even if it makes it past this year. But I just think there's something special about it not being digital and having the gaming world have its own awards ceremony and presentation for new games and being something that's not just it is online and you can watch it online, but you can see that there is physical reactions to people that are seeing a game live on the show when they showed the new Skyrim for the first time. You're just going to see a presentation that Xbox are going to show, but you're not going to see the audience reaction which they used to show at E3, and I think that there was something special about that. And then also you would get the after show where you'd see people trying out the games and talking to the developers.
I still think you're going to get events.
Oh yeah, you are. I just don't see it being the same.
No, I think this will make Gamescom bigger.
You think it's going to make
games? I think it'll make Gamescom bigger in Germany because Gamescom doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And
that's not far from us.
It's not far from us.
And they've got Steins.
I had VIP tickets to Gamescom once. I won them and I couldn't go. As in, like, I could go 2 days before people were allowed in.
Or just sit there and wait.
No, just go and do all the stuff with it, with like Alana Pierce and such.
Oh God. So why didn't you go?
Just couldn't go, couldn't get the time off work.
That sucks, mate. And I don't use that word sucks, but I use it now. That does suck.
Absolute donkey balls it did.
Yeah, I think it is the end of an era, but it was I thought it was going to happen ages ago. I thought the lockdowns definitely killed it off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it ever recovered from that.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, innit? Like games have never been bigger. Like biggest entertainment entity in the world for years now.
Yep.
Makes
more money than movies.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel as good as it was, and I don't think it's a nostalgia thing. Like the everything, like spiraling cost of development, which is great because it means we get these crazy like event games that come out, you know, good or bad, whether it's a GTA 5 or an Red Dead Redemption, you know, Witcher, you know, these things that have had loads of money poured into them, that just like proper visual feasts that can keep you going for fucking hundreds of hours. But I kind of miss that thing, like PlayStation 1 it happened with, where game cost in general was still relatively low, like it was sort of on the at the beginning of the console and like early PC, like sort of late PC thing. Disc media came along, and that was cheap. Like CDs were cheap, so you could you could have games were made cheaply. It's why you could go into like your game store at the time. And I will never forget walking into game, and I bought Cyclone Filter, and I'd never heard of anything. I bought it because the name was cool, and I got home and thought, oh my word, this is like a spy simulator 3D shooty thing. This is great. Never heard of it because there's so many games out. There was just walls of games to buy. Now you're lucky. I used to go.
You've got walls of games, walls of Lego.
PlayStation 1, I used to get a new video game. Not always new. Like I'd go to either like our sort of we had like a buy, sell, and exchange shop, which, you know, you had loads of stuff secondhand in there. I would get a new video game every week. Like it's at least something. So if it wasn't a new video game, I'd go and buy one for like £5 in like the used shop. Not all of them were good. Some of them were awful. But you can't really do that anymore.
Can you imagine? You just give me it's probably a shit idea, but can you imagine what you're just saying there about going into a shop? You would trade your old game in, which I miss. You can still do that to a certain extent, but it's that, even that's dying a death. But can you imagine if digitally someone like Xbox or PlayStation or Steam said, buddy up with somebody and you can exchange, I don't know, 10 games. You can swap 10 games a year, like permanently swap. You get like an exchange system with a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be bloody brilliant.
Yeah, I still think there should be some way of trading old games in, like old digital games in for like game credit, even if it's just like an honor system. You know, it's they don't need the keys back. Don't get me wrong, but I think it would just be a nice thing to do, be a pro-consumer move. Yeah.
Yes, something. It wouldn't make any money, but it wouldn't, because whoever did it first, either the others would have to follow, or, you know, if Xbox did something like that, or PlayStation did something like that,
mm-hmm.
The PlayStation fanboys or the Xbox fanboys or Nintendo, whatever, are going to look at that and go, that's great.
I've always thought that it would be cool if they did some sort of monetization system where you get like gamer score, whereas certain things counted to money. You could like Steam credit, like you get your Steam points, which you can't do anything with, or I can't. There's nothing I want to get with Steam points.
So you have got that now with You've got Xbox Rewards. Have you dabbled into that yet?
I don't think so. No.
You need to. So I make about 10. I always make £5 a month. That goes into my Microsoft games wallet.
Mm-hmm.
But you do you mean actually doing something in a game and it will earn you money?
Yeah.
Like
you get
your achievement,
like your
achievements.
Your achievements give you some monetary value.
So essentially, rewards, if you get, it might say earn 3 achievements this week, and it gives you, say, 100 points, which equates to something like 10 pence.
Yeah. That's all. Well, if they're doing it then, but I had no idea.
No, you know why you've no idea? Because they don't shout about it. There isn't really a big shout about Xbox Rewards. Not many people know about it. If you're watching this now, sign up to Xbox Rewards. If you've got Games Pass, you'll probably at least earn 5. I've got an auto redeem set on my Xbox Rewards for £5 every month, and I always make the £5 every month. And I don't play it an awful lot these days. PlayStation's done the same thing apparently now. They've got something very similar in place. So they are doing that kind of thing, but not as good as how you described it. It's not at that point where, but then I think they're just giving money away unless, like, they said you platinum a game or you get all the achievements on Xbox. Maybe then, I don't know, couple of quid, 3 quid, 5 quid.
Do you know what? That'd be nice if there was. That's what I'd do if I had a game. If I made a video game, if you finished it, not platinum it, like just if you just finished the game. So let's say
you'll refund them.
No. If you finish the game, I'll give you £5 off the next one.
Off your sequel.
Off the sequel, yeah.
It could work. New developers,
so. especially if it was narrative driven.
I think E3 is probably going to be, in the long run, and I don't know if this is good. I think this could be a good thing if they get more indie developers there. Because can you imagine if they started to show more games that you'd never seen from new talent, and they did with the rewards before the rewards.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something here that I'm sure indie fanboys are going to hate me for.
You don't like?
Do you think there's enough? Well, I mean, they're just games. I hate this indie title, to be perfectly honest. I mean, what's indie? Is Ubisoft indie? They're independent. They're a big company, but they're an independent company. So what's an indie game? It's like Radiohead. Radiohead are an indie band because they're on their own label. One of the biggest bands in the world. Indie daft thing. I've derailed myself there. The thing is, I don't think there's enough indie games that you haven't heard of.
No, I know what you're saying there. Well, you don't know. I think that
we still haven't got that one. That last night one, is it last night? The pixel art side-scrolling cyberpunk thing that was supposed to go on Xbox Series X.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, Xbox One. Xbox One. It was coming out on.
Still nothing.
Look lovely that.
No, I mean I think what they could do. So they had the awards at E3. Can you imagine if they did something along the lines of they had all these developers and they were showing off what their game and that they would say, look, we need this help to get this game out there. And then the big companies like Microsoft or PlayStation there could be like a bidding thing to get these developers on side with either platform.
I think I don't think they come up. They seem to be already part of it. No, there's so many indie showcases now, like Inside Xbox and PlayStation have like a fair chunk of indie games that come out on their platform as well.
Yeah, I'm just thinking how E3 can survive
There's a
in
lot
the
of
long run.
shite as well.
Yeah, there is a lot of shite.
Go and look on the
Look how much shite there is with AAA games, though. I mean, half of the AAA games now, more than half, are shit. Yes,
really.
A lot of them are repetitive shit that you get to a certain point. You start the game. I mean, I think
a lot of games are too long. That's a problem.
I'm probably gonna. I may make people unsubscribe. We ain't got many, so please hang fire, people. Like, share, and subscribe.
I think there's more games where you should be able to kill minorities.
And I like God of War, the new one. Yeah, I do like not Ragnarok, because I haven't played that yet. But I like God of War. However, I get to a certain point in God of War, and I think this looks great. I'm getting a bit bored.
Well, God of War. I got bored of the first God of War.
And that goes the same for Horizon as well. I got bored with Horizon.
Yeah, I got bored of Horizon too. But I mean, this is us though. Like people love those games, so we're clearly in the minority of people getting bored. But the percentage of people that actually finish games is relatively small. There's been a couple of things where I've finished something that's gone, you're in the 1%, blah blah. You got you think funny. Oh fuck Christ. It's a strange hobby, isn't it? Because if you don't watch a film, if you turn a film off halfway through, it's a bad film because you've only watched it for half an hour. But there is absolutely no way that you can stick 30 hours into something, stop playing it, and then go, that was a bad game. I only spent 30 hours in that instead of 40.
Unless you're an achievement junkie.
No, but that doesn't make the game bad. That's what I mean. You've still played it. You still enjoyed yourself for 30 hours in that game.
But I know somebody who, and he may be watching this now. He's one of my friends. He will play a game, and he'll buy a game that's shit. But if he thinks this was the case many years ago.
I know people that have that they'll play the shit games because they're cheap achievements.
If they could get quick achievements,
never. Like I don't even know what gamer score is.
I've got quite a high gamer score, but I played a lot.
I forgot any way to get into my old PlayStation account. When I get a new PlayStation, rather than going through the rigmarole of wrestling with Sony to try and get it back, I will just open another account.
Yeah, when I got the started doing the retro game, some of the retro games on Steam Deck to emulate. It says, "Would you like to download retro achievements?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't be asked.
No, I don't. Yeah, I have I don't care about it.
I enjoyed the games back then without achievements, so why do I need achievements now?
There's been a few. I don't think I've ever 100%ed a game. Like I've never
I've 100% Skyrim and Fallout 3 and Vegas.
Wow, that's some going. I never played Fallout Vegas. Never played it. No, it looks like shite now. I'm not playing it.
Do it. No. Get it on the Steam. Get it on the Steam Deck. Get it on Steam. Get it on Steam. Get it on Steam. It's fucking amazing.
Nope. Looks awful.
Everybody in the chat, just tell Lee to get. If we get how many people? If we get 4 people that are watching it live right now.
Wow, 2 just left. I just said I've never played it, and I'm not going to. 2 people left. Like, no, not for me. This.
Can we get? Can we get anybody that's watching this in the aftermath of the live stream if you made it this far. If we get at least 4 people,
If we get 100 subscribers, I will live stream playing.
there we go. 100 subscribers. People, share it out. Oh, here we go. Lee, what have you started here? What have you started?
But don't
Footy
share it. You won't see
gangster.
it.
Lee,
Look,
it's
not-
awesome.
Just say, yeah, but
Vegas
it
is
looks
awesome.
awful now. You can barely play Fallout 4 now. That looks terrible. So Fallout Vegas is going to look even terribler.
That's why I'm saying get on the Steam Deck.
It'll still look terrible on the Steam Deck. Just look terrible on a small screen.
But it's such an awesome game. It's
Well,
great.
let's hope Starfield is as good. I'll just play Starfield when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. As long as it's not in 30 frames per second, and it looks like it is.
I won't be 30 frames a second. I'll happily play it 30 frames a second. I've no.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I will.
it's constant. As long as it's constant, it's fine. It's only when things dip and spike.
We can have it. My lad.
How's it going, mate?
Guess what, John? Lee's never played Fallout New Vegas.
Nope.
See, we've got 5 people in. Come on, everybody in the chat now. Lee, Fallout New Vegas. If we get 4, he's buying it. I'll buy him it.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying a game that old.
It's bloody great. Absolutely great.
I think, is that what we've got to talk about?
Pretty much, mate. We started with VR, but there's only so much you can say about the PlayStation 2 VR.
Yeah, we didn't start with what have you been playing. So what else have you been playing?
I've been playing Vampire Survivor.
It's great, isn't it? I've told you so many times. I said,
and my son is 7 years old, Lee. 7 years old, and he's playing a vampire game.
So good.
He's been watching me playing it, and he's like, Dad, this looks like shit. When you say it looked like shit, he just said to me, he went, Dad, this looks rubbish. And I went, really?
Yeah.
Have a go.
Yeah, crack looks like talcum powder as well, but snort it and see what happens.
He absolutely loves it. He's actually really. Well, I think I sent you a video of it. He's really good at Vampire Survivor. He's fantastic at it. But yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing Dead Space remake. That's fantastic. I did. I think I did. I set Power Wash Simulator downloading as well. I've not played. I have played it on Steam Deck, but it's streaming it, so I'm going to try it on the Xbox.
Yeah, I can't. I fell out with the streaming thing. With it's just not there. It's so close to being there, and you feel like it's there, but then you go, oh, it's not quite there. When you got to do anything with any sort of accuracy, you're always slightly too off, or slightly. Yeah, it's just a bit.
It runs really well here. I mean, I don't know if it's because
it might be just my internet, like maybe the ping or something like that isn't quite up there with it.
Are you in an old building?
Everything's old here, but yeah, I am an old.
Right,
building.
yeah, that's probably it, because my mum lives in an old Victorian house, and the broadband's really good in one room, but then when you get, because older houses are built.
I'm in the same room with the router.
All right, I was going to say older houses are built a lot better than new houses.
We do have pretty good internet on the island as well, but the maybe I'm just super sensitive to the control lag. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I took the Steam Deck to work the other day, and I was on 2 bars of 4G on my phone, and I said, "Yeah, I'll try and show you XCloud" to my mate, and I put Halo. And it was running, and it running really well. But then I tried to show him Vampire Survivor, and that was pixelating like mad, more than it is.
Yeah, Vampire Survivor. I think that's one of those things where if it goes wrong on that, it goes awful. I've been playing a bit of Pressure Washer Simulator, Power Wash Simulator. You like it?
Pressure washer.
Yeah, but I spent yesterday pretty much installing Windows on my Steam Deck, and I think it's better now. I think it's better to have Windows on the Steam Deck than Steam OS. In general, because I think it kind of feels a bit Steam Deck sacrilege now, doesn't it, to say that you prefer having Windows on it? But the controller support was iffy to begin with. That seems pretty fixed now. There's so many little things. Like I love Fall Guys. I think it's great, and
We're gonna have to live stream that.
yeah, but you can't play it on Steam Deck. There's, I know you can do the launchers, through Heroic Launcher, so you can do Epic Games and GOG games on it. But I was playing. I've just started Cyberpunk for the third time. I'm pretty grim as well because I was like 20, 30 hours into it too. So I'm going to have to do all that. I've done it as a corpo, hoping it'll be slightly different.
I'm thinking restarting it.
Yeah, well, this is a complete restart because I didn't have a cloud save of it because I was playing it on deck. But you can't cloud save on GOG games with Heroic Launcher. It doesn't do the proper cloud save thing, so I've got to start it all over again. But because of the way that Steam Deck does a shader caching, if you try and play something like that on GOG or Epic, it stutters because it's doing all the shader compiling. I believe I'm not like a game dev.
Well, that's if you play it through the Steam OS. You see,
if you play it through Steam OS. So even though you can install those games, it's still only really like a good experience, I think, anyway, to use Steam OS. Apparently, there is ways and means that you can crowbar your way around these problems, but it's not that I could work out. There was nothing I could see which was an obvious fix to these problems. Installing Windows is an obvious fix.
How long do you think you're gonna have the deck for now?
I mean, I'll keep the deck anyway because this is the thing about even if it stops playing games, it's not useless. Like I would, I can quite easily see myself running this podcast through that thing. One point,
that'd be a good little
just
experiment.
plugging it into and using it as a studio PC, plugging a keyboard into it, and then it's just my PC that I've got plugged into in the studio. That I can see that because it's a good portable computer.
We could call it live stream on Steam Deck.
I'm interested to see. It always surprises me how well Cyberpunk runs on it. I mean it's gonna be the new the FX super resolution, is that what they call it, the super sample and stuff that AMD do. This 2.0 version of that is going to be that's the death nail, I think, for Steam Deck when it comes to next gen. Because if that does DLSS 3 looks like it's capable of doing on the Nvidia side, then there's no reason why we can't keep doing what we're doing. If you can downsample something to 500p and then upscale it to native resolution, and it looks good, and it doesn't just all look like wishy-washy and strange, it'll be fine. I mean, you still, like I said, that I was amazed that.
Have you started downloading any native Games Pass games?
Yeah, they're fine. I was playing Hi-Fi Rush the other day. That out of the box without changing any settings ran at 60 frames a second.
Are we going to give them some videos, Lee? Little shots.
I will do my absolute bestest. What else did I try to play? I played Pressure Wash Simulator, OVS. I played some Tetris, whatever the last Tetris was called.
Tetris Effect.
Yes,
that's great. That in
It's great.
VR is great. That in VR is amazing.
That with headphones on is great. Just the
Yeah.
music and stuff in that game is great. And then I just downloaded. What have I downloaded? I'm just
John,
opening
I use emulators. I've got Metroid Prime on the Steam Deck, and I've got some Zeldas on there as well. Oh, and the original Metal Gear and Silent Hills.
Wreckfest I had to go at, and I just downloaded Final Fantasy Strangers in Paradise. So I've never played that. I'm going to give that a go.
Retro War in Paradise.
Final Fantasy Stranger in Paradise.
What is that on? What's that on now? That's on Xbox?
It's on PC. They were not all of those were Xbox games.
Right. Okay.
Wreckfest was on Xbox, so I was playing that this afternoon. That ran great.
It would be interesting for you to download something like the Forza Horizon. Try that.
That would really well on Steam Deck. I don't need to do that. ETA Prime tests everything with Forza Horizon.
All right. Well, what could you test? Gears of War or something like that.
Do you know what the best one's going to be? Will be because Gears of War run well too. It's an old game. I think anything that's going to be Unreal Engine 5 is because I think that new is that new Bioshocky futury Russian thing.
Oh yes.
Is that Unreal Engine 5?
Get that day one on the Steam Deck. Let's have
download
a look at
that and see how, because that's been the thing in my head. See how that goes.
What's it called, that game? I want to show some of that to the.
But
the guys
anything that
before
comes
we
out,
go.
anything multi-platform, like Forza Motorsport, new Forza Motorsport, see if that runs well, then we're probably looking okay for the future. But it's
It looks incredible. Like that new game. I forgot the name of it.
I've forgotten.
Oh, Atomic Heart.
Yeah, like I've been waiting for that for ages. I remember seeing that at E3, I think it was. I remember seeing the videos of it. It just looked incredible. That's one of my most. That Redfall as well. Redfall will be a good one to get on deck and see if that works.
I think that's going to be our little multiplayer streaming gem, probably.
I think so, yeah.
But I know you don't like pirates, but we've got to do some Sea of Thieves. I think you'd like it. I just want to shoot out of a cannon.
You need a big cannon. Someone tried to shoot me out of a cannon once, and the cannon went back 2 foot.
This does look fantastic, though. I have to say, when I like the oddness of it, and I like the fact that robots have taken over the entire world, because
it feels like BioShock.
Yeah, it does fit. Yes, it does, with like all the kind of like the powers that you get.
Even just the vibe of it is very BioShocky. All that sort of half horror stuff.
It's not an Xbox exclusive though. This is coming to the PS5 as well. But
timed
it is
exclusive though, isn't it? Isn't it like
no,
a year out?
I think it's coming the same day on PS5. But we get it. Well, I say we because I'm not an Xbox fanboy. I'm a little bit, but it's Games Pass day one.
That'd be such a pisser. Like to spend like 60 quid on a game, knowing that an entire console that you haven't got, it's you should just put that 60 quid towards getting an Xbox Series S.
No, I wouldn't recommend. I had the Series S. I got rid of it. I wouldn't recommend it.
I think it's a second console, just as a Game Pass machine.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you got like if you got an Xbox downstairs on your main telly,
see that looks like BioShock Infinite now.
Yeah,
there.
It looks like it's got good. I mean, it looks like it's got really good acting in it as well.
I hope so. I've got high hopes for this game.
The voice acting looks pretty good.
It's either going to be awesome or absolutely terrible, isn't it? There's no middle ground for this game. It's not going to be like a 5, 6 out of 10. It's either going to be, oh my god, this is 8, 9, or this is awful 2.
I don't think this is going to be a bad game.
I hope not. Like I say, it's one of my most.
The reason why
low-key
is
great year for games this year, as long as everything comes out.
Is they've done they've done like long presentations of this game running, and it looks good.
Yeah.
I will say this: it does. It reminds me of like you say. It reminds you of like the BioShock, completely with the powers and stuff like that. But when you're in the open world, it reminds me of Far Cry, and what I mean by that is things coming at you every 2 minutes, and that's the only. I want a bit of downtime in a game if it's open world,
especially like this. It's to me, it's got big. I
mean, that's a bit of Portal
Half-Life
there
vibes as well. Yeah,
it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. It looks nice.
Oh, he's not having a good time, is he?
No. But yeah, this is out this monthly.
Yeah, end of the month or was middle of the month? Can't remember.
Oh, I think we may have another. It could be a PlayStation channel. That nice name. PS Tat.
Yeah. We said at the beginning. So we were talking about this kind of at the beginning of the podcast. But yeah, I think it's that depends on what you perceive value as. But I just don't think enough people are going to believe that almost £600 or £530 is a viable add-on. Like that's no add-on has succeeded, has it? Is there an add-on that succeeded? Did PlayStation VR succeed? I mean, it got a sequel. I suppose that would technically suggest that it succeeded.
I think the first VR did surprisingly well. Like the problem with this, Lee, and I think we discussed it for about an hour.
Yeah, we discussed it at length.
But I'll say it again. It's the price.
Yeah,
I don't think nothing to do with quality. I think the quality is there. I don't think the games are there for the price.
No,
I think if the games had been there, if you had insane launch titles, if you had like Half-Life Alyx, if you had
even then, put it this way, would you sell look at PlayStation 3? PlayStation 3 had some pretty decent launch games, if I remember rightly. Not great when you look back on it now, but that didn't do well because it cost too much.
No, it did.
But you couldn't sell a 600. Right?
It cost too much back in the day because everything like that thing would play PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2, and then they canned that.
But take VR out of the equation, yeah? Could you sell a £600 console now? Nope, is the answer.
I think it'd have to have a lot with it.
You could,
you'd have to have the brand new Kinect.
No, but you just said then for PlayStation VR if they had games to go with it. So let's say Halo, right? The Return of the Chief continues.
The Return of the Chief, I like that, Lee. You've got something there.
Let's say that's an absolute banger. They make a new Halo game, rescue the series, absolute banger. New Forza game comes out, looks amazing. You're still not selling a £600 console around it.
Well, it's £529.
£530.
Which is probably what's about $600, is it?
Probers.
Near enough. But you can buy the Horizon Call of the Mountain. Which...
How much is the? Oh yeah, that's a point. So it's more than that because you're not buying that without a game. How much is it with a game?
So you buy it with Call of the Mountain, you're paying an extra 30 quid.
So
40 quid. You pay an extra 40 quid.
Right. So at that point, we're so close to £600. We might as well say £600.
That's the thing. It looks like a nice system. it looks like it's been
but-
well made.
But it's not a system.
No, it's
It's
not
a
system.
peripheral.
Yeah.
It's I like, yeah.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's a
Will you,
shame.
if it drops to say
No.
300, say it does really well, you get some killer, and
300, but it's not going to drop half price. Lucky you'll get £100 off. I mean, what, 550?
Call it. How long do you think this price is going to stick for?
I reckon you'll get 50 quid off in Christmas. Maybe 60. There'll be some sort of Black Friday deal. There'll be some maybe some sort of bundle will come up. There will probably be around Christmas time a how much is it? So that's 600 quid. How much is the PlayStation 5 now? 400 quid.
It's more than that. They put in the UK they put the price.
Oh, have they? How much?
I think it went up by 30 quid or something.
So like 450 quid?
No, it's more than for the disc version. You're talking nearly 500 quid.
Wow. Black Friday deal, 999.
But here's the thing. I'm wondering if the slim PS5, when they release it, that will make the VR look a little bit more like, well,
no, because even if they bring out, right, even if so, how much is the Xbox Series X? Is 430 quid? Yeah.
No, 450. 450.
For 450. So even if they drop the PlayStation, yeah, because PlayStation is more expensive than Xbox, isn't it? So how much is it? Right, and I've got to find out now.
Well, PS5.
Yeah,
I've got it here.
Just tell me.
PS5 is $529.99 for the disc version.
Wow,
it's
so nearly £100, nearly £100 more than the Xbox Series X. Wow.
For the non-disc version, it is £10 cheaper than the Xbox Series X with the disc drive. So it's $439.99
without the disc drive, right? Great, that's all right. That's a good deal. That's the one. That's the one I would buy.
That's not a good deal if you think about it. If you're not in any sort of category, whether you're a PS5 fanboy or an Xbox fanboy, and you look at the two new consoles and think, well, I can buy myself an Xbox Series X with a disc drive for £10 more than the PS5 without a disc drive.
Yeah, the disc drive doesn't matter to me. That's what I'm saying. So that makes the two consoles
for somebody
comparable.
but you've got a Blu-ray player built into that. So if you're somebody that
didn't like digital sales make up something like 60 or 70% of all games sold last year?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I don't want to admit it, we are going into a digital world.
Yeah. So literally, this does not come as a shock to me because my PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, all I did was buy digital. So like I've been a whole generation into this of buying digital. I'm used to it now.
It's because you get great deals as well. I mean, especially with Steam.
No, it's not. It's laziness. Like I could walk to the shop, or by the time I drive into town, pick up a game, drive home. That motherfucker could be halfway downloaded, and like,
yeah,
I could have had a shower. I could have made myself a cup of tea. I could have done a couple of other little bits I have to do around the house, and then sit down and play the game without leaving.
There is that, but at the same time, so I want to get I want to try the new Harry Potter game. I think there's some parts of that game that look fantastic, and
that's going to be a good game. That is nailed in, absolute banger. I'm telling you.
I've watched some recent presentations on that game, and
ironically, if it's bad, I'll cut my cock off. I've broke him.
I told you, it's not me that's edgy. Right. If There's going to be bits in that game that's bad. I'm telling you now. I've watched presentations of that game, and it's an open world game.
You saying there's bits that he chopped off?
There is bits that you go into that game where it's basically like, like not Call of Duty, Battlefield, where you go into a certain part of the game and it says you're leaving the map. I've seen that.
No, it said leaving the mission zone, I believe.
Leaving the mission zone, yeah. That bit concerns me about that game. That's the only bit.
Loads of games do that. That happens in Spider-Man.
Mm.
That'll just be because you're in a mission doing that part of the mission in the area. You try and fly you fly the wrong way when you're chasing something in Spider-Man, it drags you right back. That's nothing to worry about. It's just something to do with the game. It's going to be great. It's going to be such a good. Do you know what it looks like to me? Did you play Dragon Age?
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Age Inquisition. Dragon Age Inquisition.
You play the first one?
No. Dragon Age Inquisition is the first fantasy role-playing game I ever finished and I ever enjoyed. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have gone back and played any Skyrim. I wouldn't have gone back. I wouldn't have looked forward to playing The Witcher. That game got me into fantasy RPGs.
I've not completed it.
Harry Potter looks like that, but you're a wizard.
And it's more, because Dragon Age, though, is very kind of like the movements, like you can't.
Oh, it's stiff. It's
stiff. Yeah, but it's meant to be stiff because it's that type of game.
But it was good. I mean, the thing with Dragon Age was it was beautiful when it came out. It was a bright.
It still looks good now. It still looks good, but it's just not much.
Yeah, but like Harry Potter, I just think it's going to be a great role playing game. Like it's like almost the most pre-ordered game in Steam. Like so someone was saying today on some of those lists to that.
Yeah,
it's approaching like the 10 million copies bought mark.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, those developers, whether you fucking hate JK or not,
none of that matters. Like genuinely,
it's a game. It's a fucking game.
No, but the thing is, it shouldn't even be given airtime because the people that are supposedly have a problem about that probably don't play video games. And there are such a small minority of people that are upset by something and are looking for something to be upset by. Like it's the fact that it's already selling gangbusters and it's not out. It's just a testament. It's that old adage: Twitter is not the real world. These extremists are just amplified. They are just amplified by algorithms and games media. It's one of the reasons I hate games journalists is because they're so scared. They're so scared of saying something that gets them a bad Twitter reaction, and it's all because they've developed their whole brand on social media clout. So if that disappears, then they have nothing left. It's why these things are failing. Right? It's again, I implore people to go and listen to Michael Malice's You're Welcome with Colin Moriarty today. He sums up the progressive cancer that's in games journalism perfectly.
That was a great podcast.
And it shows people, but it's why people are looking for alternatives. I'm not necessarily saying it doesn't mean that we'll be the alternative. I think we are an alternative. But it's something I've had to do. I've had to find alternatives when it comes to games journalism because I want to hear about a video game and I want to hear about a product being played. And did you enjoy playing it? I didn't want to know whether that made you feel uncomfortable because of your political bias. That's not what I'm interested in. Is who you voted for, why you voted for.
Well, here's the thing.
Harry Potter should be on the shelf.
Do you know, with that as well, I thought about this the other day, then people should stop playing like the World War II Call of Duties, because why would you want to play as a Nazi?
Oh, the same people should be angry about Lego games because everyone's yellow. Like what we need what do we not like about Chinese people if we play Lego games? This is the same logic. This is It's stupid logic.
Also, people just don't have a sense of humor on the internet.
No, this is the problem.
People don't. People.
The majority of people do. The majority of people do.
Anybody with a sense of humor, Lee, is either a racist or a homophobe.
No, is normal. This is the problem.
No, but what I'm saying is, people with
to
a
a
sense
minority
of
of people. The problem is these people are being propped up by fake systems. They're being propped up by social media algorithms. They're being propped up by essentially a left wing or a progressive, we'll say, because I'm trying to get politics involved in it, a progressive bias in tech. You know, that it shows that happens. Elon Musk buys Twitter and the world pretends it's going to end. And it's not.
What I was going to say before we do crack off.
Well, whew. Is this patron only?
But is Dead Space. I think I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through that now.
Yeah,
I've already checked. If I trade that in, I'm only going to lose about £15 from what I bought it for.
that's good.
So Harry Potter's going to cost me £15.
Yeah, no. Look, I was a big one for game trading, and it's to my own detriment. I don't do it, but it's just something that's not. I can't be bothered doing.
Yeah, but it sounds like you don't like going into that shop on the LMR.
I don't like going into that shop. And to be perfectly honest, that's probably the big problem. Because let's be perfectly honest, games aren't cheap now.
They're not, mate. Games are insanely priced.
I'm still unsure what I'll buy it on though.
You need it on the Xbox.
I don't know why. It doesn't look particularly crazy.
I'm telling you now, you need that on an Xbox. You've got a Series X. You don't buy that on a Steam Deck.
I think you'll be playing that high to medium settings on the deck.
I think if you I think if you buy that on your Steam Deck, you'll refund it.
I'll wait for some reviews, but I can see myself playing more of it on Steam. I like playing RPGs on the Steam Deck, like that.
Yeah, I get that.
I like the idea I can just take it upstairs and like play an hour before I go to sleep.
Vegas.
Modern RPGs, I like playing on it. So as we'll see. I like I say, I'm unsure what I'll play it on. What I might try though is now I've got Windows installed on the deck. It might the whole stream to deck might work better. So I might be able to do that. I hadn't thought about that until literally this second.
Oh, well, you've got Windows on it now, yeah. So literally, seriously, mate, because it's the PC version of Fallout New Vegas on Windows. Try it because you can proper upscale the graphics on the Windows version because I've got it.
It came out when it was 6. You can't upscale it that much.
You can make it look better than normal Fallout 4 on the Xbox.
With mods?
You can mod it, yeah. It's moddable.
I'm sure it's moddable. No, it's going to look awful.
Just get a graphics mod.
Why is it so good?
I can't explain it until you've played it. It's great. It's fucking great. Play it. Everybody, leave a comment below if you've made it this far. If you made it this far, it would be rude not to subscribe.
It would be
share,
rude not to subscribe,
and all that jazz. But the comments I want to see is Lee, download Fallout New Vegas, and then review it.
No.
On a live stream. A live review of Fallout New Vegas after Lee's completed it. 100%ed it.
Okay. Only if you should rename this channel I Stand with J.K. Rowling.
Good night. God bless people.
Bye-bye.